It's been a while. We're back. Social Podcast Ep7. I'm Sean, as you know. My host,
Upgrade. Upgrade.
Danny Bassett. And today's guest is Jamal Howlett Mundell. I've said that right.
Me. You have.
Okay,
indeed.
great.
I
Good.
appreciate
It's good to have you. We haven't met before. You two have, right?
Yeah, we have met.
How have you met? How do you know
it. Through
Jamal?
football, that's how
Yeah,
a lot
football,
of people
to be
meet
fair,
really and
yeah.
truly, innit?
You've played together, played against each other, played with each
Have
other.
we played against each other actually?
We probably have, but I don't remember though. I only normally remember like people that are good at football. So if I don't remember you,
Don't let him do that to you because we're definitely like 30 seconds
We'll
in.
get there.
I'm
We'll
just
get there.
saying if I don't remember you at ball, I remember playing with you. I thought you was good then.
What position do you play?
Centre back.
I knew it. I should have guessed. I knew from the build.
No, he's actually kind of good still.
Oh, okay. So you're just trying to live in his head.
Thank you.
Nah, not really, but I'm just saying. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Are you at a club now?
I am at Ramsgate.
You're at Ramsgate.
Ramsgate.
Oof, that's a bop.
That's where my nan lives.
It's far, no?
Yeah, but we're good.
Ramsgate? Who's at Ramsgate?
What from London? You mean?
Yeah.
So we've got Theo, we've got Josh, Denzel, Leon, and someone called Lucas.
I felt like
You
there
don't
was,
know
like,
anyone's
no,
names?
I don't think I knew any.
Maybe their
of those
last names you'll
names.
remember more.
I'm not sure if you'd
How you getting
know,
on?
Top of the league,
Oof.
so pretty well.
Damn.
Aye, that's
What league
sick.
are Ramsgate in?
It's me and Southeast.
What's that, Ramsgate?
Yeah.
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 That's not bad, you know.
I try not to say Ryman anymore.
No, because it's
But
not.
that's-
It's not.
That's what a lot of people know it as. Though.
Yeah, it's because we're all old, man.
Yeah. It's anyway. So
Try to cut that one so you don't want to the age to come out. Sorry,
age of who?
I'm just saying it because
What,
we
'cause-
said a little bit older.
Well,
than
you said we're old. So I don't mind.
I'm
We-
younger
we're-
than
we're in
I'm the
that-
youngest in the room.
Oh, how old are you?
No,
25.
oh, he's younger than me. Shit.
old are you?
27.
You said that with your chest. You were the
How old
youngest
did you
in the
think I
room.
am?
37.
Don't.
37.
This is what I'm trying to say. Listen, that is like the devil's spawn.
No, not 37. Definitely 29, 30.
Really? I
Yeah.
don't know if that's good or bad though.
Whatever you want it to be. Take a
Yeah.
positive, take it the negative. You can pick.
Nah, I always look for the positives.
There we go. Mature. Mature, see?
Well, you're gonna have to retract that youngest in the room statement. So we are old together. You're on the dark side of 20.
You're like
me.
36 though.
I'm not 36.
Sorry. Do you know what? Let's get back to the pod. Let's go back to the pod.
Okay. Anyway, let's talk about your footballing journey.
Mhm.
So just tell me where it started.
I first played for a team called Dulwich Devils, and the way that I got into them is I was always like pestering my mum. Mum, I want to play football. I want to play football. And this was when I was maybe 7 or 8, and she basically like found an ad for them in like a newspaper. I think it was like a magazine.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, call them. I didn't really know how like phones and that worked at that point, innit? But she basically like, got in touch with them. They were like, yeah, cool. So I grew up in Newcastle Gate, right? They were only like round the corner from us. Went down to training, whatever else, enjoyed it. And then I played there for maybe like a season. And then I remember during that first season, I went to a tournament with the club, and then there were like scouts. They wanted to like have a look at me and whatever else. So they spoke to my mum, and she was like, no, he's only too young. But I only found this out like later down the line. And then we went to, do you know like Tandridge League?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went to like a Tandridge League tournament at the end of the season. And like we done really well. To be honest, I can't remember if we like won it or not. But a scout from Crystal Palace, basically like the same one from before, was like, look, like I want to like have a look at your son. So I went on trial there, and then I signed there when I was the start of under 9s. So that was like the transition from it was essentially Sunday League into like the academy. I was like, rah, like I've got like proper kit. This is like a real club, you know? And then from there, I was like training all the time, obviously going through the age groups. But when I was like, I want to say between the ages of like 12 and 14, not only was I missing training because I used to get in like bad trouble. Like I used to always get in trouble. So there's been times where like I've missed football because I had to do community service because I was getting in so much trouble, or like my mum wouldn't let me go to training because I was getting excluded from school. And also going through like injuries as well. So I remember missing most of like my under, I want to say 13 season because I had like really, really bad knees. Like
The
Oscars.
bad knees at 12.
Yeah, like 12, 13.
I
yeah,
told you,
yeah.
he's not 25, man.
I'm 25.
Bad news at 12.
Damn.
No, he was 20 then. 12.
Oscars, isn't it?
Oh,
A lot of
okay.
people suffer from that.
Yeah, but isn't that just growing pains?
She's trying
Isn't
to
that just a
downplay.
nice
She's
word for
trying to
growing pains?
downplay your thing, saying you're
No, but
supposed to
it's
be a little
like
baby.
it's like a
Said-
scientific term for growing pains.
Essentially, yeah. But I missed like a lot of that season, and that was when I was kind of like, damn, boys that I grew up with from the age of like 9, 10, 11, whatever it might have been, were like coming and going and coming and going. And for whatever reason, the club like always saw something in me. So they were like, look, we want to like extend your contract. We want you to stay around. We like believe in you. We think that like you're going to be like a really good player and whatever else. And knowing that they knew that I was a little bad breed basically. And also I was like injured a lot. They still kept me on. I was like, bruh, that's actually like really good. Do you know what I mean? So like at such a young age, I sort of looked at it from the point of view of they see something in me, I see something in myself. So why am I still getting in bare trouble? Do you know what I mean? And thankfully, like they put us into a school. So they put us into, what was it? Oasis Academy, Shirley Park at the end of under...
Sorry.
Why are you laughing?
Because, no,
They-
I'm old. I'm old. I went to that school.
What, Ashburton?
But it definitely was not Oasis Academy Shirley Park. It was Ashburton.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I think I was in year 10 when I joined there, and they also put the age group below mine in there as well. So basically, like we had training on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday morning, and then also we'd have training on Tuesday and Thursday after school as well.
So you're how old? 25?
25, yeah.
I think when he was in year 11, like when I was in year 11, he was in like year 8. Or something
No,
like
but
that.
I would have just missed you then, because it would have been like 2
you,
years
you
after
went to
that,
Oasis
then.
Academy Shirley Park, so...
Well, yeah, literally.
I don't know where that is or what that is, but
It's like Addiscombe.
out my way.
Yeah,
there.
it's a CR. It's a CR school.
Yeah.
What's the
You're not from around there,
Croydon.
are you?
Oh,
It's a
Croydon. Yeah,
school.
Croydon's Meads.
Yeah, you're not from around there.
Croydon Meads still.
Sorry, but a lot of good footballers came
Who?
from that school.
Who?
Sean Scannell came from that school.
Yeah.
The Winter Brothers came from that school.
Where they play now?
Alex is at Eastbourne. Ben's at Barnet.
Someone's at Torquay, aren't they? Is it Ben not at
Ben
Torquay?
was at Torquay, but at Barnet now.
Okay.
And who else?
Alex spent most of his career at Palace, actually.
Is it?
Alex is another one that like had loads of injuries, and the club like definitely saw something in him.
Actually, I know who you're talking about. They brothers.
Yeah.
I just said that.
No, I actually forgot. Let me tell you what I remember, because I was in the car with someone the other day,
Yeah.
and they were telling me that they was actually very good.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was.
They are. Like,
They are.
really.
Who was it? I think was it Billy Crook
Possibly.
Yeah.
or Cookie.
Possibly.
It
Yeah.
might
I think
have
it
been
was
Cookie.
Cookie.
I think
Anthony
Cookie's a
Cook. It
similar
was
sort of-
Anthony
Yeah.
Cook. Yeah.
similar
He
sort
was
of
telling me
age
that they
gap.
was actually really good.
Yeah, they are. There's another. Is he at Maidstone? And he plays at Grand. Yes, yeah. I want to say Jermaine. Is his name Jermaine?
Jerome?
Jerome.
Jerome.
Williams.
Yeah, he went to my school as well.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
cold.
He was
there.
in the year below me,
Yeah.
I think. He was in Alex's year.
He's older than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm lost these days, man.
Yeah. So anyway, we
But,
digress.
I got a scholar at Palace, didn't get a pro. So when I was 18, I got released from there. And then I went to Hearts. So that came about because a like former family friend was an agent, and he was like, look, like I understand you've been released at the moment, like what are you doing, sort of thing. And I was like, not much really. I'm just basically like seeing out my contract. So he was like, look, I've got some connections up in Scotland. Like, is that something you'd be interested in? I was like, Scotland, like I'm 18 years old. Like, what am I doing going so far away? But he took me up there, and I done a week's trial with the first team, done really well. And they were like, look, we want to sign you for like an under 20s team. Is that something that like you're happy to do? Obviously, it means having to relocate. It means having to like sort of settle down in a new environment as well. And I was like, yeah. Like I was buzzing about it. But it's only now that I look back and think, damn, like I was a pro. Do you know what I mean? And that's something where I think a lot of people take for granted, because not many people actually sign those papers and say, I'm actually a professional, like in the field that I want to be in, you know? But yeah, that was like, the time at Hearts was really good, but also really bad, because like I miss my family, I miss my friends. Like I definitely withdrew a lot during the time that I was there. And at the time, I didn't really realize how much I was moving away from the people that I loved. Not even just like literally, but there'd be times where I'd just be like, I'll deal with that phone call tomorrow. I'll deal with that message tomorrow. And then tomorrow turns into next week and then next month. And I'm like, damn, I'm looking at my phone and I'm like, why am I not interacting with the people
anymore.
that, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
How long was you in Scotland for?
For a year.
And then what happened?
So after I got released from there, I came back down to London, moved back down here, and I was without a club for maybe like, I want to say maybe a month or so. And then basically somebody that works at Crystal Palace was like starting his sort of like coaching journey. He was like, look, I'm in at this non-league team. Do you want to come down during pre-season, and do you want to like basically train and like play with us until like you find something? And at that point I was like, non-league? Like, what do you mean non-league? Like, what's that sort of thing? Because I've heard people talk about it, but I was 19. I was like, nah, like my ego was massive, innit? Do you know what I mean? Because I was like, well, I'm fresh off being a pro. Like, what am I doing going into non-league? I don't understand the system. I don't understand the structure. But then I was like, actually, at the moment, I'm just sitting down doing nothing. So
do you know what's funny? Sorry to cut you, but do you know what I think is funny? Yeah, is that like this is not like a you thing, but like you're a 19-year-old boy. Let's say you're 19. You said yeah. At this point, yeah. So you're 19. And like you've got this big ego about like being a pro, but you've been released twice.
Yeah.
But your ego's huge.
Yeah.
But
you've done.
do you know what I mean? And you're thinking like, no, like I should be a pro, and that, like,
but
you're thinking like, no, like you gotta humble yourself, bro.
I'll
Because
be
you've been
real.
released twice at this point.
I'll be real that there's been pros that's come on like even come from like on loan from their pro club into like when I was in National South, and like I would look at them and feel like, how the hell are you a pro?
100%.
Like, I'm looking at them like there's no way you're a pro because like what I'm seeing you do here, there's no way you can go. You can't go back to your pro team and do that. It's impossible that you're doing that.
Yeah.
Like there's no way.
It's mad how obviously it's just like an ego thing, isn't it?
No,
it's
but I feel like a lot of it is like people don't actually understand, because if you've been around a pro environment since you was like 13 all the way till 19, by the time it's time to leave that environment, it's so unknown to him.
It's a different world.
Yeah.
He doesn't get it at all. Like, he doesn't know what levels they're at non-league. He doesn't know how close it is that pro to non-league. You just don't get it because you've never been around it.
Yeah, no, I hear that. That change of environment. So so sorry about that. So you go, now this is your first step into non-league, basically.
Yeah, literally.
Okay.
And like, to be honest, so the club was Guildford City, but I don't even know like what league they were in. I don't know like what step it was. I didn't understand like any of that sort of side of things, innit? But I was just grateful that he was still looking out for me, but not only just me, but like other boys that have been released over the last couple of years from Palace. And he was like, look, like, come here, we'll do as much as we can for you, but you've got to kind of like get yourself out of this rut that you're in. Do you know what I mean? And that was before I even like really knew stuff about like mental health and like depression or like anxiety, for example, which is definitely things that like I've suffered massively from. Do you know what I mean? So I was there for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and he was just like, come on, man, like you're way too good to be just settling to stay here, because I was getting comfortable, I was getting to know people and whatever else. But he was like, look, this is only meant to be like a break sort of thing. This is meant to be like a stop on the road, get yourself together, and then like you need to go on. So he basically like organised for me to go into Dover, and like this was during a time where like I guess they were in quite a transition, because when I went in on trial, there was probably, you know what non-league pre-season is like, there was like 30, 40 guys there, and bear in mind, I'm still like super young in my head anyway, and there's people there that are like 25, 30, 35, like all trialing to get into like a national league team. And even at that point, I didn't really understand like, like what's national league? Like, I didn't know what that was at that point.
Me?
No, but like,
should I be real? Teams offered me to go on trial this year. I said no. Big man like me, there's no way. That's only Prem. I won't go. I'll stay where I am. I'm not. Even 26, I'm not going either. 27, there's no way. No, I'm being honest.
Are you going on trial in it?
Are you going on trial at 30?
I don't think I can be 30 as a trial.
On trial, not even nah. Yeah, it's a big man. That's what you got. Come in. You got to work your ass off, and we're gonna let you know at the end of the week.
I don't know if I can be 30 as a trial.
And then them tell me no at 30.
I don't know.
People do it, innit?
No, I hear it.
I know.
See, your ego is big. See her ego.
No, I hear it.
See her ego. Big.
I
I watched her train once.
Oh,
biggest ego in the team. Biggest. There was 3 of them. They're doing the warm up over there. The whole team. Them 3 are just there talking about what happened last week, doing kick-ups. Ego. I got the video. I'm gonna send it to you. Link it.
In playing career, I should have stopped because I just didn't care anymore.
But you recognise that, don't you?
Yeah. So I had to just call it a day. It's just not because I was doing nonsense like that.
Fair.
Thanks. So I just pulled pull the rug under. Just said this
Definitely.
time now.
Mm-hmm. That was the reason.
Of the game. Anyway, sorry. So Dover.
Yeah.
We're on trial at Dover.
So I was there for, I think the trial ended like 2 weeks or so later, and they were like, look, we want to sign you, put you on a contract, whatever else. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, because during that time I'd seen 10 people get released after a session.
Yeah.
And obviously I wasn't necessarily like expecting to get signed. I backed myself because obviously I knew I was doing well, and like the boys I was traveling with from London were like some of the bigger players in the team sort of thing. So I was like, all right, I'm getting along all right. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think I was one of maybe like 5 or 6 people that got signed out of, again, like 30, 40 people. But going to Dover and like traveling up and down the country, and there were so many times where I wasn't even getting the squad, and I was like, what? Like, I was kind of looking around like, yeah, I'm new in that, but I felt like I should have been playing. I felt like I should have been playing more of a part. And you know, it wasn't even a case of like, oh, I've been a pro sort of thing, because I was kind of like out of that mindset, because like the person from Palace that was like helping me out was like, look, like that don't mean nothing right now. Do you know what I mean? That was then, innit? You got to kind of look at it as like, what are you going to do next? And like, this is what was next. This is what was in front of me sort of thing. So I was just like, boy, I'm looking around and not playing. I'm not like in the squad. So I'm just up and down everywhere. And I ended up only playing like one game. It was like 30 minutes in the FA Cup. And like, I wasn't even buzzing about it, because I was like, this is taking me like 3-4 months to even like touch pitch. And I was like, oh, this is a bit mad, isn't it? But basically they wanted to, it was a 6-month contract. They wanted me to extend it. And I was just like, nah, like, let me go out on loan, see what that's about. And I went to Canvey Island for a month, done like really, really well there. The manager at the time wanted me to stay. But then again, the person that was helping me from Palace had gone into another club, which was Whitehawk. So I went there for a month.
No, you like travelling, bruv.
That's not even the start of it.
No,
Dover, Canvey, Whitehawk.
Whitehawk got bread though.
That's mileage though,
I'll
man.
be real with you.
Yeah, but did they have bread then?
Yeah.
Whitehawk got
that in it, but
don't do all of that if it's not that. You're not going there for £100 a week.
Well, no.
All right, then, so it's about bread. You're not going there for £100 a week.
Yeah, but
what?
But basically, like the situation at Whitehawk was they were battling relegation, which is why like they'd change managers and whatever else, and I was getting a look in, but I was only there for a month, and then I kind of looked at it from the point of, so in 2 months I've like represented 3 teams, and I was like, damn, I'm like not settled anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? So what am I gonna do from here, sort of thing? And then I got the opportunity to go into Whiteleaf, right? And at this point I turned 20, and there was a couple of boys that I kind of like knew from like Southeast or like South or whatever else. So it was cool being able to like be around more people that I knew in like a footballing sort of sense, innit? But yeah, so I went down there, spent the last maybe like 5-6 weeks of the season there. And then at the end of the season, the manager was like, oh, I want you to be the captain next season. And I was like, captain? What? Like, I'm 20. Like, what am I doing being the captain sort of thing? But again, it kind of goes back to that point at Palace where like he saw something in me, and I've only really recently started to see myself as more of like a leader. Like, I'm not a loud person. I'm not like abrasive. I'm not like, you must do this, you must do that, and like basically like, tell people what to do. But I know that I become a different person when I play football.
Definitely,
like,
because you were telling everyone what to do when we played. I was gonna say, sorry, that's a lie. But I'm glad you added the football bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Getting mad.
That was me.
At the fullback.
That's not what leadership looks
the
like.
fullback he was mad at. Just come in here. If you come in here, I can give you the ball. In here, then go. I said, rah. I said, oh, what? Serious.
I've always been like that. Though. Like off the pitch, I see myself as like quite quiet. I'm quite reserved. I see myself as shy. People don't say that about me, but when I cross those white lines, like, it's business, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? That's always the way I've seen it. I'm like, I'm employed to go and do this, so why am I not going to do it the right way? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so I was captain there, start of the season, and then that manager got the job at Kingstonian, and basically like he took, I think it might have been like 5 of us there, but he sent me out on loan to Ashford, went there for a few months. And then after Ashford, I went to Hastings, and I went to Hastings for a year, And then after the the end of that season, like, I stopped kicking ball for a bit. Like, I literally stopped kicking ball for a bit.
So you was 21 at this point?
No, I was
22.
I want to say 22.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say 22. I was just a mess, man. Yeah. Like, I was a mess. Like, I'd really like let myself go. I started getting back into bad habits. And it was just kind of like, I felt things from when I was growing up, like creeping up on me. But because I've never really been someone to like open up about what's going on inside or like what's going on around me and who's around me and that sort of thing, I just didn't want to be around ball. Like, I didn't want to be around football whatsoever.
So at what point do you get back in?
So I get back in at Sheppey. So that's January 2020 I joined them. So a few months before lockdown. I want to get back into the game, but I'm only going to get back into the game if like you're accepting of like me being bisexual. And like, I'd spoken to my former manager at Hastings about this, and he was like, look, like, be yourself, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, I've brought you here and like I've given you a contract because I trust you and because I think you're a really good player. Do you know what I'm saying? So
sorry, because there's what was you going to say something?
There's like a gap. I feel like, who was the first manager that you felt like comfortable enough to tell them that you was bisexual?
Chris Agar.
And who was that? Hastings?
Hastings, yeah.
You wasn't playing there though?
No, I was playing there.
So he was the first person you came out to?
Yeah.
Did the players know?
I didn't tell them, but
what did he tell them?
I don't know if he told them or not. But basically, like, he left it up to me as to whether like I wanted to make it like open or I wanted to keep it essentially between me and him.
So what did you think?
I wanted to keep it between me and him. Like, I literally had a full-on breakdown. So I remember.
So is that how you told him? Because he's just like, I'm flooding out.
I broke down. Yeah, I broke down. So we played against Hayward Heath away, and I don't know if you know like Hayward Heath ground setup.
I've played before.
Are you aware of it?
Yeah.
So like where the main stand is, basically like you can go around the corner and it's just like kind of empty sort of thing, innit? So I was like, look, like, I need to speak to you sort of thing. And bear in mind, this is like I think it was like a Tuesday night game, and he was like, what's going on sort of thing, and I just like cried. Like, I cried and cried and cried and cried. I couldn't get my words out, and he was like, what's up? Like, are you hurt? No. And I was like, well, yeah, technically I'm hurt, innit? But like, this is what's going on. I explained to him about like how I've been feeling, how long I've been feeling like this, and I just didn't really know what to do.
Yeah.
And that was literally like the first person within football that like I'd spoken to about. And this is probably, I want to say maybe like anywhere between February and I'd say maybe like February, March 2019.
So how old did you then?
I was 22 or 23 maybe.
So when did you have like your first feeling that you felt like you could be bisexual?
Like 9, 10.
9, 10?
Yeah.
A lot of people that I know say that it's young.
9,
it's actually
10.
quite young.
Yeah.
It's probably the same, it's around the same time that like, even if you're straight, do you know what I mean, that you start getting your first feelings for like girls or your first feelings for boys. It's the same thing.
No, because I'm not going to lie, I think I might have been late on that. I hated girls. I'll be real, I just wanted to play ball. Yeah. I hated girls, seriously.
You might still hate them now, but...
Cut that. No Doghouse, cut that. It ain't going that. No, but like...
there's a lot of things, I suppose, like to unpack around that, because I think that, firstly, there's so much questions in my head, but like, firstly, why him?
Yeah.
Why would you tell him?
Do you know what it was about him, yeah? Or what it is about him is he was very much like all for the team. Do you know what I mean? And like, I never experienced that in a football manager before, where it was like people first, like football afterwards. Do you know what I'm saying? And because I had so much trust in him and so much faith in like not only his footballing philosophy, but like he's a family man and like he really cared about his staff, he cared about his players. And I was like, I didn't really understand why it was that I could just like just talk to him and just like lay it out essentially. And I didn't know how I was gonna lay it out. Like, I'd thought about it for so long. Like the majority of the season, I was like, oh, like I need to talk to someone. Like, but I didn't.
Did your family know at this point?
Nah, that's the thing.
Was he the first person that knew?
Did your family know? Your friends didn't know?
A couple of my friends knew.
Yeah.
But I was like, look, shut up. Like, don't say anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like he knew before, like my mum knew before, like my sisters knew, and I was like,
which conversation was harder?
Family.
Was harder than telling him.
Yeah.
That's so mad.
Definitely. But like even speaking to my family, I remember like basically this was November 2019, yeah, and I'd like put in a family group chat, look, like I want to speak to everyone.
I was going to say, I know you didn't drop it in the group chat.
No.
Boom. Hold that.
Can you imagine?
Hold that. Done no. I'm out. Drops my. Shout me if you need me.
No, you can't drop that in the group chat, bro.
But like, I was like, look, I want to speak to everyone, blah, blah. Like, is everyone like able to come around to like mum's on like Sunday? And they were like, are you hurt? What's going on? And because that's not something that I would do previously. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'd keep everything like inside or like super secret. I'd make sure like I'm never slipping. Do you know what I mean? But they were like, is someone pregnant? Or like, are you getting in trouble? Like, are the police involved? And I was just like, no. And obviously, like, you know what's like when you put something in the group chat that's kind of like, oh, what's going on here? Sort of thing. You get the private messages.
Yeah, that's what's
no
really
one wants
happening.
to wait.
Yeah.
No one wanted to wait. And I was like, chill, like, I'll speak to everyone, innit? So everyone came around on a Sunday, and I remember like locking the room in my mum's, innit? I was like, I'm not even gonna come outside today. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna make sure I eat early. I'm gonna like shower, do whatever early, and then I'm going back to my room because like I can't do this. Do you know what I mean? Like I proper like melted, innit? And then you know when like you're in the house and you can hear people coming in the door, how are you? Yeah. And I was like, oh, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
I swear all the time.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
But I was like, fuck, like this is real now. Like people are coming here because of me, because I want to tell them something, and like they're not used to me literally like opening up and like letting things out. But I remember I went down and I spoke to like my two elder nephews first, and bear in mind they both kick ball in it. So I was like, not only are they my family members, but they are like in football circles. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, how are they gonna take it? Like, I come from a Jamaican and Bajan background. Like, how's my dad especially gonna take it? I was shook. Like, I was shook. But I spoke to both of them, and I was like, look, like, basically, I know like you're here because of me, like basically arranging this like family meeting, but this is what I want to talk to everyone about, essentially. And I was like, look, like, I'm bisexual. This is what I'm gonna say downstairs. And then like one of them was like, all right, cool. And I was like, really? Like, cool. Like, do you know what I mean? And the other one was like, what do you mean, sort of thing? And I was like, basically like explained it a little bit more, but I was like, look, I'm gonna tell you more downstairs, innit? So I remember like going downstairs, yeah, and the door was shut, innit? So I've opened the door, and then you know when like everyone's like doing stuff on their phones, or like, everyone's having little private conversations, someone might be like plating up some food or like getting a drink, and then like everyone's head sort of like turned, and I was like, damn, like I'm actually gonna do this, innit? I can't like just run upstairs or like run outside anymore. And I sat down at the head of the table, and like everyone's like, yeah, like you're right, and I was like, yeah, but like at this point I'm like dripping in sweat, like close to tears, like trying to hold it all together. My sisters are like, do you want some tissue and that? I was like, yes please. And then like my dad's sitting across from me, yeah, and he's just like looking at me, and I'm like, I'm embarrassed at this point, like I'm embarrassed, innit? But he's just like looking at me, and like I know what he's like when he's kind of like getting tense. He'll like start moving or like see his foot tapping or whatever else. And I was like, oh man, like what's actually gonna happen here, sort of thing. So I was like stuttering my words out, and I was like, look, like I love you all, like I really appreciate you, but like I need to get this off my chest, like I'm bisexual, you know. And they were like, my sister, like one of my sisters was sitting kind of like next to me, and she like got up and like hugged me and like whatever else, and then like my mum came over, and then my dad like stood up, yeah, and he like came and like stood right next to me, and I was like,
shit,
this can go left
like,
or right.
Yeah,
literally, like, I was like, am I right, sort of thing. I'm like, do you know what I mean? And like my dad's never hit me or anything like that, but like I was like, this is my dad. He's like a hardcore Jamaican, do you know what I'm saying? And like really and truly, it's not really accepted within our culture. Do you know what I'm saying? So he's like kind of stood there for a few seconds, but a few seconds felt like forever. And he's just like said, all right, son. And I was like,
that's what you need.
Damn, like that like cemented everything. Because from there, I was like, look, if my family and if my dad especially are like, do your thing in it, then no one can really say anything from that point, really and truly, because these are the people that matter the most to me. Like, forget about ball, forget about work, forget about anything outside. Like, if these people here that I really like love and really respect are like, we got you, then everything's going to be all right. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, everything's going to be all right, innit?
You must have had like a sense of relief at that point.
Yeah,
it's it's calm. Like,
did you feel like after you had said like you felt like you could get on with moving into you?
Definitely.
Because like, you might have felt like you was living in yourself for the whole time, and then once it was like said to the people that you care about, it's like I can be me, like freely, like no matter what anyone says. My family cares about me.
Exactly.
They're with me.
And do you know what? Yeah, like no whatever. Like this has brought like me closer to my mum, me close to my dad, me close to my sisters, my nieces, my nephews, but it's also like brought them closer as well. Like we've always kind of been like quite a tight-knit family, but because now I'm able to go and like take my nephews to places and like able to take my sisters to places and whatever else, it's like, yeah, we're just spending real quality time doing like real good things, you know what I mean? And I never sort of saw what the journey was going to be like, do you know what I'm saying? Because I knew at some point I'm going to go back into ball, and I knew at some point like I was going to speak about it, but like, what happens from there sort of thing.
Yeah, what was it like telling because obviously when you told Chris, you said, at Hastings, it's just the manager. Yeah. So what was it like telling like your like a team like in the changing room?
So the first time I told some of the boys, it was after like I'd been rejected, yeah? So the maddest thing, I'd gone out to Prince of Peckham by myself, and I went to watch a game. I think it was Man U against whoever. But I was just like chilling there by myself, like eating whatever. And then I bumped into an old school friend, right? And she was with one of her friends. And then obviously like chilling with them for a bit, and I was like, I'm cutting in it. So went, and then my friend like texted me afterwards like, oh, like my friend's feeling you sort of thing. It's a woman, right? And I was like, yeah, like she's sweet, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like what you saying, innit? So got a number, I was talking to her, and imagine she came to one of my games, and I was meant to like meet up with her later that evening, and we were like texting back and forth, and I remember saying to her, like, I think I told her like a bad joke, innit? And she was like, what? And I was like, what do you mean what? Like, this is what I said, innit? And then she was like, nah, like I don't play with that sort of thing. And I was like, what do you mean don't play with that? Move then, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't need you. And then the next training session, I told one of the boys before we'd met up with the rest of the boys to like travel to training, and he was fuming. Like he was fuming.
You told him about the girl, or
I
like
told him about
bisexual?
The story. Like I basically explained the story the way I explained it to you just now.
Yeah.
And he was like, "What?" And then he was like, "Wait." He put two and two together, and I was like, "I just snitched on myself. What have I done?" Do you know what I mean? Like, what have I done? Like, I literally snitched myself. But he was like, "Jam, like, why didn't you say something before?" And I was like, "What do you mean why didn't I say something before? Like, bro, we kick ball. Like, how am I meant to say this? Do you know what I mean?" And he was like, "Does anyone else know?" And I was like, "Look, like Gaffer knows, and like the chairman knows, innit?" But it was more a case of I was really relieved that he was like defending me in that situation and not judging me for like what I've just like told him, sort of thing. And he was like, "Are you gonna tell the boys?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "I think you'll be all right. Like, I think you'll be all right." So we met up with them, and it was on the journey. And then like obviously, you know, it's like car school, like banter, like just jokes flying around and whatever else. And then so it was Laurent Hamichu, I told you, and in our car school it was me, him, Greg Bembo, Harrison Carnegie, and Billy Bennett. And like, you know, them boys, they're they're like big boys in the game. Do you know what I'm saying? And like Hamichi kept saying like, "Oh, like tell them, innit?" And they were like, "Tell them, like, tell us what," sort of thing. So like explain the story again, and then like they were like, "Yeah, it's cool, man." And I was like, "What? Like, what do you mean it's cool? Like what's going on here?" Sort of thing. I was like, kind of like, "Are you tricking me, innit?" Because I wasn't used to speaking about my sexuality in like a footballing sort of setting. And then by the time we got to training, like I remember they like gave me hugs and whatever else, and I was like, "Right, like this is kind of real now, innit?" But then that was like March 2020, right? And like not long after we went into lockdown. So I was like, right, cool. Lockdown's only going to be a few weeks or whatever else. Like when we get back, like my confidence is building. I'm going to like talk about this more, innit?
A year later.
Yeah, literally, just
2 years later,
like just over a year for me to be like, nah, come on, man, like, because basically I've been seen out with like someone that like I spent time with, innit? Like when I was with boys with football, innit? From football, so they were kind of like putting two and two together, and they weren't like saying anything negative. So I was like, these lot kind of know what's going on now, innit? So like, why am I hiding still, innit? Because like it's not fair on me for me to have to like be or feel like I was like
sneaking around,
living two different lives as well, living a double life.
It's mad. Like it was so mad.
Wait, you're like obviously you're linking someone or whatever, you're seeing someone in football.
Nah, so
like, as in like
people
the
from
football,
football,
people from football have seen you.
Exactly. And I remember like at the end of, I can't remember what season it was, but like we'd gone out and like spent the day out, and then like where we ended up, I bumped into him. So like we're talking now, and the rest of the boys like, who's that? And I was like, oh, it's just my friend, and you know, like you play things off, innit? So they were kind of like, oh, all right. So from that point, I was like, they've clocked it, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like I can't really hide anything anymore. So yeah, things kind of like just went off from there. And then I remember getting to the start of the 2020-2021 season, and I basically spoke to the gaffer and I spoke to the assistant manager at the time, and I was like, look, like I just want to be more open because I don't want to go into another season of football like with everything hanging over my head. And they were like, okay, so like how do you want to do this sort of thing? So we kind of agreed before the last preseason game to like get a huddle together, and they just said, just say your piece, innit? And then that's when obviously like the video got
viral, man.
Went viral essentially.
What I haven't actually seen the video.
You're not.
So what's in the video? Are you just telling everyone?
Basically, yeah. Again, I was just like, I love you guys. Like, I was getting bare mushy in it because I was shook. Like I was proper scared.
But at this point, correct me if I'm wrong, but at this point, you haven't had a negative experience at this point of telling anyone.
No.
So like, in a way, you're kind of living in your head rent free.
Yeah.
Because it's like you told your family no like negative. You've told like someone for your first person in football no negative. You've told the players in the changing room no negative. So it's like you're anticipating something that hasn't actually happened.
Because it can't all be good.
Yeah, is that what you're thinking? Like you're waiting for the backlash.
Literally, like I was just like waiting day by day. I was like, what's gonna hit me that's gonna like send me over the edge, and but that hadn't come yet. So I was like,
has it come now?
It has now. Yeah.
But it's come.
Yeah.
Do you wanna let him finish the friggin' story?
Sorry, I mean,
like cutting, interrupting.
I'm not. I mean, I just want to know because it's just like at this point, it's like a rosy, dandy story. Like it just sounds calm.
Like within myself, I was still so insecure to the point where I didn't know, like, do I now just like tell people? Do people just like assume? Do like how does it sort of go in it? But after the video, literally like I was like, yeah man, like things are kind of concrete now where I'm just gonna do me. Do you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, like it's more a case of me trying to find that internal happiness as opposed to like what externally is gonna like make me happy, or what's gonna like satisfy me, or who's gonna satisfy me, or like all these things where like whatever, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Like I just want to do the things that I want to do. I want to be the person that I want to be and continue in that sort of direction, you know? And I think it was 2 weeks after I came out that like I got abused for the first time, and even that like,
at a game,
yeah, I was playing. So I was playing.
Like your fans or opposition fans?
No, it was a player. It was an opposition player. Yeah,
it was a player.
Yeah, player. And like, do you know what really like surprised me about that was not only like my teammates backing me, but also the way that I sort of handled it. Because you know when you overthink things, you create a scenario in your head, and it's like, if this happens, I'm gonna do this, or if that happens, I'm gonna do that. Like I didn't know if I was gonna be like super calm or if I was just gonna bug out. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm not a fighter, you know, like I don't like fighting. I don't enjoy like anything violent. Like that was me when I was young, innit? But I was like, am I gonna scrap, innit? Do you know what I mean? But then I kind of had to weigh up what's more worth it, me going through the correct protocol or me potentially getting banned for like defending myself. Like that's long. I don't want to miss any more ball. Like I spent 6 months not playing, so why would I put myself in a position where like I could essentially be like compromised, innit? So
how did the players react, or how did you react as well?
So like thankfully, one of my teammates was like standing next to me when the comment was made, innit? So I was like, right, it's not just me that's heard it. So like, it's me, my teammate, and the opposition player, right? And we were just like, what? Like, what did you sort of say? And then like everyone else kind of like came over, and I told him what he said, innit? Do you know what I mean? So basically, he called me a gay pussy, and I was like, bruv, like, are you dumb, sort of thing, innit? So we've gone over, like, I've told the ref, whatever else. The ref was like, I don't want any more comments together between like you two. And I was like, we're not even like playing directly against each other. Like I played in midfield that day, and obviously I'm a centre half. He was playing up front, so it wasn't like a battle. You know what it's like as a forward where you're trying to beat your centre half. You're trying to get in someone's head. Like it wasn't that at all. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we weren't even in contact during the game at any point because again we're not direct opponents, innit? But yeah, the ref like didn't do anything about it, so I had to go through like all these legal proceedings. Like ended up in court, and then he got found guilty, and I was like, "That's justice, man." Because like,
how did you manage to prove that?
So
to the point where now we're in court.
So basically, it was like my statement, my teammate's statement against his statement, but also like there was a video of the incident in it, but without the audio.
Right.
But basically, like it kind of came down to, was it common knowledge that like I was openly out in it? And like
and at that point it was.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I'm saying? Because obviously like I posted my video and whatever else. So it wasn't a secret. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what it's like when you put something online that could get to anywhere in the world really.
Yeah, of course.
Which kind of like basically happened.
Can I ask you a question? Did you get any backlash from when the video went viral?
Do you know what? Like, genuinely, I don't really know, because after I posted that, I basically like tried not to look at it.
Okay.
Like, even up to now, like I try not to look at it, like online anyway. Like obviously, from
where
time
did you
to time,
post it?
Twitter and Instagram.
Twitter's where it went most viral.
Yeah.
It always goes more viral.
Twitter was mad, honestly.
Yeah.
I saw the video
when
like 5 times.
When was this?
July 2021. So this is like
okay, so like just over a year ago, year and a bit,
yeah. But yeah, like I tried not to look at it online, innit, because I used to avoid going on social media, innit, because I was like, I'm not really feeling myself, innit, so I'm not trying to see what everyone else is doing, sort of thing.
This is what I think is mad about this situation, like I actually didn't hear about this, so I didn't really know until like me and V spoke, basically. So I must live under a rock because I didn't know. Yeah, I
it's your hiding space, isn't it? So it's calm.
Yeah, I'm not on Twitter anymore because that place is toxic.
Yeah,
so
very toxic. Yeah,
I've just decided to take
a little
break. So I've taken. Yeah. Anyway, we don't need to even talk about.
I love it on Twitter,
but I know you do. He loves it. Well, I used to love it too, but now, no, thank you. Now,
what did that subtitle say?
Huh? What was that?
Huh?
What? So like when I heard about like you coming out and like, to me in like the female football world, like no one would give a shit.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it was like, so in my opinion, I was thinking, okay, he's come out. I don't understand what the big deal is, basically, because like if like I mean, I've never even known it to even happen in the female game, but if someone turned around and was like, you lesbian pussy or something, like another girl would be like, yeah, so like they wouldn't, they wouldn't care. So it's like, because like in the female game, it's not even an insult. It's just like, if anything, the balance is the other way, as in like there's more gay women than there isn't. So it's not a video. If somebody like videoed like someone coming out, that's not going viral like in the female game, because like honestly, no one cares that you're gay.
But
so it's like
there's a stereotype that women that play football
are gay. Yeah, and I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, the stereotype's true. However, I've been playing football since I was 11 years old until a year before I fell pregnant, basically. So it was like, we're talking 16 years, basically, of playing football. And in most changing rooms, they are gay. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like, let's not chat shit. They're like, the balance is normally, if there's 20 girls in that club, 13 of them or 14 of them are gay. Do you know what I mean? And 7 of them won't be. So it's like, you're almost the other way. Like, as a straight woman, they're like, right, you like boys. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what's wrong with you kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, that wouldn't be a big thing. So when like me and V were speaking about it, and I was like, this just feels like a man issue. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a sport issue. It's just like a man thing.
It is very much like a man issue. And like, I think a lot of that goes down to like toxic masculinity, for example, where it's like, I have to be like the big dog. I have to be like the alpha male or the leader or whatever it might be, but really and truly, like,
what, you can't be an alpha male and be bisexual? Is that not a thing?
Like, clearly,
because you know what, I kind of feel like if I was like a man, and like if I was a man and I'm bisexual, I'm gay or whatever, like, what do I need to like punch you up to prove that like I'm still like, do you know what I mean? It's almost as though that's the kind of like, do I need to be able to like still be this alpha in order to be accepted?
You know what
I don't understand.
I feel like that's where it kind of goes wrong, because like people like will try to be like over aggressive to try to like
to
help themselves. And they're trying to prove them, instead of just being real with themselves to who they are, they're now trying to be a bigger, make it more aggressive, more this.
Did you feel like you ever had to do that?
All the time. Like when I was younger, I used to get in so much trouble because I was like, I need to throw off the scent in any way that I can. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just like stick it on people for no reason. Like, and I'm not proud of that.
And deep down, it's just because like you're just hiding the fact of your sexuality.
Exactly. So nowadays, where like I don't have problems. Like I don't get into issues with anybody. Do you know what I mean? Like I try and keep the peace as much as possible. If other people around me are getting into issues, I'm like, allow it, man, because like it's not worth it. And like what you were saying before, I can fight, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Like if I really had to fight,
if I had to,
I can fight. I can defend myself. But why should I have to go that way? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to put my hands on people, same way I wouldn't want anyone to put their hands on me. So it doesn't have to go in that direction. So what you were saying about like people have to put on this bravado, like I've been guilty of that. Like on the pitch, off the pitch. Like when I speak to people and they were like, yeah, I used to get on my nerves like when we used to kick ball because you'd be so aggressive and whatever else. But not only that's my job, but also again, like I'm trying to show you like, don't play with me. Do you know what I mean? But I don't have to do that necessarily like with my words, but I'd be aggressive. I'd literally like just go through people because I'm like, you're not getting past me today. Do you know what I'm saying? So
I feel like if it wasn't such a scene, like if you knew that like, oh, I come out and then like, oh, this like a video is gonna go viral, like everyone's gonna find out, and it wasn't such like a big thing that like more men would like come out. Like when you were speaking about like, I know obviously not everyone's got supportive families, even if you're female or male or whatever, like the situation, not everyone's families are supportive. So it's like, I'm thinking like, if I was bisexual, if I was gay and I text my family group chat and was like, I'm going to tell you lot on Sunday. And then I came on Sunday and I told my parents and like my family and stuff like, oh, like I'm bisexual. They'll be like, is that what you brought me here for?
Yeah.
They'll be like, so you come here.
Sean.
Yeah, thanks
We're
for that.
We're going to go back
cool.
to food.
Anyway, we're going to go back to dinner. Like no one's going to care, basically. Everyone's going to be like, all right, we made this scene just to tell us that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They wouldn't even like see it as like a big thing. Or like I know we was talking earlier, like what do you think? How would you feel if like one of your teammates, like Bass said the funniest thing.
How would you feel?
If like one of your how would you feel, Bass, if one of your teammates
We had this
came out?
conversation, but listen, I'll be honest, if you're a shit at football, you would annoy me anyways. If you're good at ball, you won't annoy me. Like that's me being honest. Like I don't really care for what you do. Like, that's just how I am. But it's like there's always going to be doubts in players' heads, no matter what. Even if they want to address it with you, that's probably the better thing for them to do. Like any concerns that they have or anything, I feel like that's the best way anyone should go about it, because you're being open, so they should probably be open with you. But me, I don't care.
Do you have this like like this thing of like, oh my God, don't shower with me now?
Nah.
Like, do you have that?
What, me?
Not you, but like, do men have that weird like?
Do you know what?
No, don't. Oh, let me. Because you men are all out with your
Do you
things
know what?
in the shower.
Do you know what?
And that.
Nah, can I say something about this?
Yeah.
I even thought about this today when we were outside over there.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, if I know he's bisexual or not bisexual, if he's still looking at me, he's gonna be looking at me the same way. I just won't know. What does it do for me?
The reason why I don't really care is because like, okay, I'm a straight woman. Doesn't mean I like every single man that I see.
Yeah,
so if you're a bisexual
no
man, doesn't mean that you like every single man that you see. So like, in a way, if I was in, obviously I've been in changing rooms with women that are gay. Do you know what I mean? They might like tall white girls. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm going to be there hiding myself and she's thinking, you're not even my type,
you're
man.
Not even
Chill
that
out.
nice.
Like,
It's
not
even
that nice.
Turn around, I don't even look at you. In fact,
Don't
I'm going to turn around. Don't look at me.
That's what I'm saying. So like, I've never encountered anyone that like feels uncomfortable in like a change room sort of setting. And again, like I train a lot, probably like maybe some people say too much. So I'm in good nick, but it doesn't mean that I expect people to look at me. But also I wouldn't expect anyone to think that I'm looking at them. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I'm just trying to get clean, man. You know how sweaty you get after you kick ball. Like, especially on like grass during the winter, like you are filthy. But I'm just trying to shower and like go about.
Do you feel like you have to like change like your ways a little bit? So, you know, like in like, I coach a men's team, but I try to avoid going into that changing room because,
Just the other day, Sunday.
oh, we're not coming to change room for something. And everyone was, yeah, and I'm like, oh, is everyone naked? So like, that's how, listen, that's how accusations start in it. So I won't go into a changing room when man are getting changed. But like, I remember like at the Footy Stories game, at the Footy Stories game, I knocked on the door because I was managing one of the teams, and I knocked on the door and I was like, are you lot naked? And somebody turned around and said something like, oh, it's just a bit of willy love, ain't nothing you ain't seen before, or something. It's either big or small, innit? So I was like, no, I don't want to come in yet, but like, I'm thinking if. And I know, like, you lot all, like, slap each other's bums, you'll look at each other's things.
See,
and
that's what I'm saying.
You lot do mad things, but, like, no, but you lot do mad things. Do you feel like you can't be yourself in that kind of aspect now in case someone thinks, oh...
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I think what I'm really, really, really grateful for is that, like, when I was at Sheppey, all the boys were cool. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, now I'm at Ramsgate, like, all the boys are cool. So it's not...
They all know at Ramsgate as well. Well, actually, everyone knows now, innit? It's viral.
I don't think you can keep it from ball. No,
like, that's what I'm saying. But also... I don't want to keep it from people because I'm not hiding.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? If I was in a place where I was like super nervous or like I was still avoiding being in footballing situations, then like I'd kind of like be shifty, but I haven't got anything to hide. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of like the direction I'm going down. So why should I have to move in a way where someone else might be uncomfortable? Because I don't set out in the morning, wake up and think, I'm going to make that person uncomfortable. So I'm going to look at them a certain way. I'm like going to put my hands on someone a certain way. Do you know what I mean? Like we score goals, we celebrate, we hug, whatever. No. But you made a really good point. Like people are out here slapping each other's bums and that, and then nothing's thought of it. And like me, I've never been the type of person to just like, be slapping people's bums, but like people like grab each other's balls and whatever else. Like, but it's playful, isn't it? But then the thing,
that's what I'm saying. You don't do mad things.
Stop pointing at me and saying,
do you know what? Like, do you know what?
Wait at me. I'm just the naked one in the changing room. Always naked. Always naked.
But do you know what it is? Yeah, like, not only have I never like done that anyway, but I don't even consider like what would people think if I did start doing that, because it's just not in my nature to just be touching people that I don't know if you want to be touched or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't do that to anyone. I'm not just out here like feeling people up, innit? But no, literally, like I'm not like
he
what am I gonna
for free. He loves for free.
Why am I just gonna be touching people up? Like that's just not.
That's
me,
just mad. Do
like,
you think that like? Would you say based on your experience now, like going through like how you've done it and like what you've experienced, would you say that like you think British football culture is homophobic?
I feel like a lot of people that are actually in the game, so whether that be like players, whether that be like managers, people that are actually within like the spaces that kind of like matter, or like have any type of influence, genuinely, I don't think it's that bad, you know. I think what it is like fans. When it's
it is, but that's in everything though. They're the worst part. They're the best and worst part of every sport.
Yeah.
Honestly, they are.
Yeah,
and 100%. I feel like the terraces within like English football, British football, it's always been, if someone is not doing well, I'm gonna like say a slur, whether that be racist, whether that be homophobic, like whatever it might be. I'm going to do whatever I can to try and get into that person's head, try and get under their skin. When really and truly, like, you know what it's like, when you're playing against someone, you're not just going to be abusing them. Like, you might say, oh yeah, I'm going to do you in, or like see me in the bar afterwards. No one ever gets seen in the bar.
I've seen a couple people get seen in the bar still.
I've
seen a couple men get seen in the bar still. What lie to you?
I've never seen anyone get seen in the bar.
They got sore in the bar and then slapped, and then they went and told them.
Got sore in the bar.
Yeah, it's insane. They won't let me see you in the bar.
Like, that shout gets thrown out all the time.
Every game,
all the time.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's the players. I don't think it's the managers. I feel like it's a lot of ignorant people that say things and don't understand what the potential impact could be. Because I remember growing up and like even like through kicking ball as an adult, and people would say like homophobic things, and because I didn't have like that assurance within myself, I wouldn't stand up for not only me, but I wouldn't stand up for the rest of the community as well. Like I'll admit that, like I'm not gonna shy away from the fact that like I could have done more, other people could have done more, but it's more a case of like just like sort of thing, innit? And like brush it under the carpet. But nowadays, like I stand up for anything that I think is like means something. Do you know what I'm saying?
Do you think you would have had like a double whammy, like black and bisexual?
100%.
Because that's like, on paper, in the footballing fan world, that's like a death threat.
Yeah, done for still, basically.
Like,
the fans.
Yeah, it's peak.
You played for England right now.
Be mad.
Long.
Yeah, miss a penalty.
Miss a pen? You're
Bloody
done.
heck.
That's what I'm saying.
Miss a penalty?
No,
Jesus Christ.
You know what it is? Like, me growing up, a lot of what I thought about is like, I'm black, I'm male, I'm from Southeast London. Like, I grew up in New Cross Gate. Like, it was rough. Like, it was rough, like proper rough. But also I'm bisexual, so I'm like ticking these boxes where in my head I was like at a disadvantage, like massively. But knowing that I was at such a disadvantage, or like assuming I was at such a disadvantage, and then not having like any confidence whatsoever apart from like fake confidence, I was like, boy, like where do I go from here, sort of thing, innit? Do you know what I mean? But nowadays, like when I kind of look at the places I go to and the people I spend time with, like everything is just quality. Do you know what I mean? Like everything's real quality, and I just like day in, day out, I'm like, all right, this is what's on the agenda today. Like, you're doing it, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Can I ask you a question though?
Oh, go on, sorry.
Like, have you actually lost friends or like people that you care about? Have you lost them because of your sexuality?
Yeah.
What, like, I'm not going to chat to you because you like men?
Yeah.
And women.
What kind of dance? This is what I'm trying to say.
But why
like, I just don't. It's not making sense.
What did they say? Did they just stop speaking to you, or like did they say like I can't speak to you because?
Do you know what?
I find it childish. I don't want to be your friend anymore.
Do you know
It's just, I just think it's stupid.
You know when they just stop replying, and then like I'll shout again like a little while later, and like nothing, like just get radio silence, and from there I'm like, right, I can see you're doing this, I can see you're doing that, and that, yeah, cool. I don't know like what your mental is like specifically because we haven't actually caught up, but you're just choosing to like ignore me. Do you know what I mean? And
how does that make you feel when people ignore you?
Do you know what? Like, it used to really like get to me, and I'm like, have I done something wrong? Do you know what I mean? By like attempting to be myself. But then I was like, no, like if you're gonna be moving like this, then it's not worth my time. Like I'm doing other stuff. Like I'm not gonna go and like hunt people down to be my friend because like I've got real good quality friends. Whereas before, like I'd only be around people because like they're kicking ball, or only be around them because like they could blow in music, or like because they've just started this business venture or whatever else, and like I want to kind of like be seen as like someone that's cool, or someone that's like hip, or someone that's in. But now I'm like, I just do what I want, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be around people that they like have a persona, or they have like a platform, or they have this or that. Like I'm gonna be around you because like you're ambitious. I want to be around you because like you're caring, or because like you're generous, or like you're charitable. Or,
so you care about the characteristics
I care about
of a person.
character, yeah. Whereas before, like I'd only be around people whose like face is fit in it. Do you know what I'm saying? And then because I never felt like my own face fit, I was like, oh, that's my way to like be seen in a good light, innit?
Yeah.
When really and truly, that's not the way that life goes, innit?
So with that being said, one last question from me, yeah. So like you see how you said like you wouldn't stand up for people from your community, like regarding your sexuality. Like now when you see stuff on like Twitter where people like say like Cassius, the goalie, you said I'm gay, then he said he's joking. Does that stuff actually does it affect you? Or do you make it feel like he's making a joke of something that's a lot bigger than what he understands?
I swear he was trying to cover up.
No, because obviously he was
people thought
three
he was
things.
linking bare things.
He got three things. Then he said I'm gay.
I'm gay.
Then
To
he said I'm joking.
take the heat
But he said it as a basically said it as a joke.
But do you know what it is that whole thing? Like I saw it and I was like, damn, like that's sick, innit? Do you know what I mean? Because you look at him and you look at his career and you look at like who he is globally. Yeah, it's like wow, that's someone else that's like gone through whatever journey they've gone through and got to the point where like he's able to now, after being retired for however long, open up and say, yeah, I'm gay. And then for it to kind of like come out that it was a joke, it was like, are you taking a piss sort of thing? Because like we're human beings, you know what I'm saying? Like we just want to be able to exist freely and not feel as though like we have to hide, or like we have to sort of like tiptoe around certain situations or around certain people. So for him to go and do that and think like it's funny or whatever else, it's like, come on, man, like don't mock it, because really and truly we know that within the male side of the game, there's not many of us. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
openly.
I'll be real.
Openly.
I've heard some stuff.
Openly.
Yeah.
Gary Lineker, his name?
Yeah.
I've heard some stuff.
Well,
about
obviously he said he was speaking about 2 football players who want to come out potentially over the World Cup period.
But they say that all the time though.
And then they don't come out.
It's not.
Well, how do you think it's going to be received if they do come out?
What is this? British players?
We don't know.
Yeah.
But
I just think
if it's Lineker,
it's a mad time to come out in Qatar.
I'll be real.
It's mad.
Me personally, I'm not coming up while we're in Qatar. I'll be real because it's just not. Seeing it say time and a place. Yeah. This is not the time nor the place.
Well, I mean, like
for me personally, like you have a much more comfortable place to do that when you're back home around people that care about you, love you. You're not gonna go to a place that is openly against it. They have like nothing. They tell you from the get-go, this is not it. We don't do this here. It's against our rules, our regulations, everything. Why would you choose to go there and then say, okay, this is what I am?
Yeah. Well, we've got like a statement reaction basically, which was come from Khalid Salman. So he said, gays, they have to accept our rules here. It's haram. I'm not a strict Muslim, but why is it haram? Because it's a mental deviance. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
But like, I think the thing with him is, he is, cool, he's Qatari, but also he's like played football professionally. And like, you could say his career has been spent in like the Middle East or like in Qatar, for example. But at the same time, it wouldn't just be Qataris that are playing there. So like, you could have people from all over the world. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's represented Qatar in the Olympics, and that we know that the Olympics is a global event where people are coming from all different places, all different backgrounds. So it's not as if he hasn't experienced people other than Qataris. So to be a former player and also be like an ambassador for the World Cup, and then to like openly say that, like what's actually being said in private, because they're every so often saying, the community are able to come out here and like, we're happy for you to have flags and whatever else, but basically like water everything down. And it's like, well, why are we having to go to places and not feel as though we can be ourselves? Do you know what I mean?
The only thing I would say that like, I would have to say that I kind of disagree. Even when before, like a couple of years ago, even if like straight couples would go to like Dubai, you couldn't go out there and do mad things. Like you couldn't.
I've never been.
I'm married, I think.
Like if you're not married, you can't be out there kissing girls. You can't be out there touching them. Right. So like in those countries, if you're not married, you can't do that either. Right. So it's not just like, it wasn't just against like guy and guy or like girl on girl. It was literally if you're not married anyways.
Any PDA basically, like if you're not married was a bit mad.
Yeah.
I get that, innit? I get that, but like, why have FIFA chosen a country where there's so many like human rights violations? So like looking at the community, putting that to one side for a moment, there's so many things that have like happened in the build up to the World Cup, so many things that happened historically that have been negative. And is it a case of they're getting things in their back pocket?
Have you seen that FIFA thing on Netflix?
Money runs the world though.
Have you seen that FIFA thing on Netflix?
That's what it is.
Just yet.
I started watching the first episode
What's it called? What's it called? Put it on here.
Is it not like FIFA Uncovered? Yeah. I'm telling you, this FIFA thing is corrupt. It's peak.
Really?
No, it is.
No.
Absolutely.
The World Cup's in Qatar. It's corrupt.
Yeah.
Never.
Oh my word.
No way.
Oh yeah.
FIFA?
You gotta watch it.
Oh no. Never expected that.
Absolutely mental.
Oh Lord, no way.
Shocker that is.
Oh gosh.
I'm telling you.
Oh no.
So I mean, before we like move on, basically, we're just gonna like wrap up with like a more of a light-hearted stuff. But there was actually like something that I wanted to ask you, which is not on the agenda anyway. About like, you know, when that quote when he's talking about like mental deviance, yeah. So like I had a like an interesting, I suppose, like conversation when I used to work in the bank with a gay guy. And we were talking about like there's this big conversation about like, is it a choice?
Right, yeah.
I'm sure you've probably been asked this. I had this conversation before about like, is it a choice? And like, I just never really cared basically for the conversation because I just don't care in it. But like, he gave me this like insight basically that like he was like, just for context purposes, he was like the babes in the office. So like all the girls was on him. He was nice, some Mauritian thing, yeah. Anyway, but when he came out like to us that he's leaving, like, guys, I don't want none of you lot in it because because I'm gay basically. And we were like, damn, like we never saw that coming. Similar, very alpha male-ish, like we just didn't read it. Anyway, so he basically says that he used to pay £400 a month for gay reversal classes. For people to sit him in a room and tell him that like he's not gay basically. He'd done this for like months because he didn't have a supportive family, and basically he was risking all of his livelihood, like his family, his like religion, like just everything basically. So he wanted to convince himself that he wasn't gay, so he's paying all this money. that was obviously a waste of his time.
Yeah.
And he basically was the one that kind of showed me that, like, trust me, if I had a choice, I wouldn't be gay.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if I really had a choice in this life, like, considering how society is and how society treats you, I wouldn't be gay. So, like, but I actually can't help this. And then it made me think to myself that, like, because of how society is, basically, like, it would be socially accepted for me as a woman to be bisexual. It would not be a problem. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I could easily go through life and be bisexual. And then I thought maybe I'd probably have a blast. Like, if I was bisexual, I'd probably live a fantastic life. But I just don't feel like that towards women.
Boring.
Do you know what I mean? They sound boring.
Go on, what were you gonna say? Because like you started something there.
He said something like, if my girl was bisexual.
My girl's bisexual. I'm over the moon. I'm not gonna lie.
That's like the attitude that like men have towards women.
Yeah, but they don't have that towards men.
No.
Do you think, like, given a choice, basically, like, if you actually like had a choice, do you think your life would be easier if you wasn't bisexual? Like, if it was a choice? Because I don't believe it is, but
would my life be easier? I think I'd have less complications, definitely, but also like I just can't help who I'm attracted to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's periods in my life where I'm not attracted to women. There are periods in my life where like I'm not attracted to men. There's periods
really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but like it kind of goes on like how I feel within myself. So like when I don't feel great, I don't really like. I'm not trying to be intimate. Do you know what I'm saying? At all? Nah.
Yeah.
Like, there'd be points before where like, in the same breath, when I didn't feel very good within myself, like I'd have too much sex. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
To try and like, like that's gonna make me feel
better.
Do you know what I mean?
And not for the first couples. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Then I'll get home. Then when I get home, I just sit there and think it wasn't worth it. I'm a joke, man. Yeah. This did nothing for me. Let me clot again.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm being serious.
These are cycles that I've gone down, and like I know people might say, yeah, cool, like people go through like hoe phases, and don't get me wrong, like I'm not a slut shamer whatsoever, but that's just.
So did you have a hoe phase?
I've had a few, yeah.
A few hoe phases?
Yeah, but like
you're better than me.
It's like not come from a place of like love, or it's not come from a place of like respect. It's come from a place of like,
there's something you need to release.
To get things out of my system because I'm not doing the other things that like I know I should be doing. So at least if I'm doing this, like I'm getting some sort of like self-gratification. Do you know what I mean? And not actually considering what does this mean for the relationship between me and like X person, or me and like Y person, or whoever it might be, innit?
When you're dating, do you get like, do they mind that you're bisexual? So it's like, let's say that you date like a gay man, or you date a straight woman.
Or bisexual.
Right. Yeah, no, what if they're not bisexual?
Oh, so they just like...
So yeah, so like that gay man only likes men, and the straight woman only likes men. How do they feel about you being bisexual? Like, does it affect your relationships?
So...
Does that question make sense?
No, it does. It does make a lot of sense. So when I'm with like just gay men, not an issue. Like literally not an issue.
Mm-hmm. They don't mind that you like women?
Nah, but when I've been with straight women in the past, it's like, but I just want you to myself, innit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm like, well, nah. So do you know what I mean? And like, I've had many.
Of course you're the greedy ones.
Selfish ones.
Of course you are. What? That was a question.
It's interesting.
I've had like many back and forth conversations where I'm having to explain like my point of view, where I'm like, look, if I wanted to settle down right in this moment, then like I would actively look for someone to settle down with. But I'm obviously happy in your company, you're happy in my company, but it doesn't mean to say that like I'm not gonna go out and like explore who I am, or like go and see who I want to see. But at the same time, you go and do your thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna stand in anyone's way and be like, if we're not together, it means you must only be with me, because like, that's not fair. I wouldn't expect someone to say that. And so when I'm ready to like settle down with somebody, I'll settle down with someone. But at the same time, there has to be an agreement in place where it's like, look, if I'm with you as a man, then are you like willing for me to like still explore with women?
Oh, we're doing like, what's that? Polygamy.
Yeah, polygamy essentially.
Yeah. Is that where you think you would want, what you'd want to do?
I feel like that currently.
You see, this is why I find it difficult to date someone that's bisexual, because you're too blasted greedy.
No, but it's not. I don't see it as greed though. I see it as like
it's a need for him.
If we're,
he actually feels like he needs.
Yeah, but you want
let me give you an example. Yeah, you see how like you're attracted to a man, and you like when you want to have sex with a man, like you feel that need. Like that's how we feel. So if he's just having sex with a woman, he has that perfect, great. Yeah. But then he still has the need of being with a man.
But then it's like there's no like. And this doesn't even come down to sexuality. It's just there's no monogamy, basically. Yeah. There's no like unless that person agrees to. It's like having an open relationship.
I would never.
It's like
do that
even in the straight world, it's like being with a man.
I would never ever do that ever.
Other girls.
I just want to be with one person for the rest of my life, and I just love her so much. The camera and say that. And then I just want to be with you for the rest of my life. I love you, baby girl.
This is a man that's on the ropes.
Hey. Cut it though. Give me that on the edit.
But do you know what I mean? It's that's not. I don't even think that's a sexuality issue. I think it's not an issue. It's not an issue, but as in like it's not a sexuality thing. That's just like it's a level of exploration that whoever you're with, whether it's a woman or a man, would just have to agree that actually, like, I don't want to be monogamous to you.
But that's real. But I'll be real. When I was younger, a lot younger, obviously.
A lot younger.
When I was a lot younger, maybe like 6-7 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
It was at a point where like I knew I could never be with one girl and take her seriously, because I wanted to do loads of different things.
Yeah.
This isn't just like, I just wanted to have sex with her. Like, I wanted to go out and explore people in itself.
Yeah.
So I could understand what I would want in the future.
Yeah.
Because I've met loads of nice girls over the period of time. But it's like, I've taken things from each type of girl. I'm not trying to say I'm creating a perfect person.
Yeah.
But I know what I need in a future person.
Yeah.
For me to actually settle down and be with that person.
Yeah,
But would you feel that way if you didn't take that time to go and explore?
No, you wouldn't. Because the only way you learn...
So do you think you're just still exploring?
No, like, I know who I am right now. And I know, like, the type of person that, like, I'll become in the future. But at the same time, I still want to be intimate with both sexes, you know? Like, that's just how I feel.
Damn.
She said damn.
No, because it's not because of what you're saying.
No, I know what you're saying.
Monogamy
like,
thing.
Like, I know what she said. She's saying it like raw, like if you just had one person that you cared about, wouldn't that be like enough for you? That's what she's trying to say. But he's saying it's not because I need both. This is what fulfills me personally.
But that's the thing, like it's not that it's not enough, because at some point I'll have like a life partner. Yeah. But again, there's going to be things that like we have to compromise on, which I understand. I'm not going to be able to like be as free as I currently am, because we like might have children.
Do you want kids?
Yeah.
Would you be okay with your partner doing that?
Yeah. Like
with like dating other men or dating other
genuinely
women?
Like because like it's a partnership. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's just the way that I see things currently. And
but what if they catch feelings for that person?
But
then we get to that point, innit?
Damn.
But wouldn't it be better for you if you ended up dating someone or your long-term partner was bisexual? Because then you both can.
No, why are you hesitating, bruv? What, you wouldn't date a bisexual person?
I genuinely do feel like that would be better.
Because
because
you both understand each other, what you both need.
Yeah.
So when you understand something, you can literally move on from it. You can grow from it. Because everything I've learned in life is from me realizing it and then understanding it. Because like when I make a mistake in life or I do something wrong, I never learn from it until I understand it. And people only like understand things from experience. So if someone was experienced and like, I'm bisexual, I need this and I need this, you'd both have an understanding, and it wouldn't matter what anyone else said.
Damn, I think I just learned to think about life, to be honest with you. I think we're going to have to talk about that one in the car, because Jesus. Well, look, I mean, this is not a dating podcast, so we're going to have to like move on, because now we're talking about like, our personal views on dating, and we're just not here for that purpose. Right. So we're going to have to just like wrap this up basically to the quick fire.
Just go. Oh my God.
Stuff. I think you should be involved. But I'm going to just start light, basically. Cool. And this is definitely off the top, because have you got off the top questions? Because I've got a couple off the top ones.
Oh, I should ask questions.
But it's just like...
That's your thing.
I just want to go like light. So let's start with
you're the host.
Support.
Man United.
Oh, it's a treacherous time for you right now.
It's been a treacherous time for 9 years.
Oh, who's your favourite player? You lot are meaty.
What? Of the current squad?
Yeah.
Ronaldo, innit? It's got to be.
Meads, he ain't even playing. Do better.
No, but he's still my favourite from the current squad.
Who's the best player at Man United right now that's actually playing? And don't say Ronaldo because he's not playing.
Martinez,
the centre back.
Yeah.
What, the short one?
The centre back is the best player at Man United.
Well, who do you think is the best player at Man United?
Eriksen, by far.
I hear that.
Eriksen by far is, yes, 100%. Even Rashford right now, smoky settings.
Rashford's on a lot.
He's on a smoky settings.
A lot of stuff
he should come
now.
Arsenal to a real team still.
He's on it. Damn, are they a real team now?
You know we're on that top of the league.
We need
See,
him,
Bass denied his supporter as a supporter.
You can't put that out though because in a group
ages.
chat. Who?
You.
Don't
you wouldn't
lie.
tell anyone that you support
I
Arsenal.
still ain't said it yet. That's what I just said. They can't go out until we win the league.
I hear that, to be fair. So what was your favourite footballer growing up?
Rio Ferdinand.
Damn, that's a good choice, you know.
Do you know why? Because obviously he's from the ends, isn't it? So like me growing up, I was like, right, he's come from here and like, look what he's doing. I was
that's
like,
a good choice.
Yeah, that could be me, innit? Do you know what I'm saying?
Who did have I ever asked you that?
What?
Like, who was like your favourite footballer growing up?
Isn't it obvious? Thierry Henry.
That's what I'm asking.
Say that.
He's the only.
Oh yeah, of course.
What? Arsenal? He did not support Arsenal, you know. I remember I used to support Liverpool. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah, that's true.
What are we allowed to tell people?
Not a lot. I mean, not a lot.
Like, what are we
Yeah, he's saying best. I'll cut it out.
No,
Oh wait, hold on, cut it out.
It can go out, but obviously, yeah, that one there's a bit techie. Yeah, it's a bit tight to home. But that Liverpool one, I had pictures in Liverpool kits when I was at least 9 or 10.
Damn.
I saw Thierry Henry coming from the. That's why I play left wing. Coming from the left, slapped it top mid. I said, "That's me. That's who I am."
Do you know what my favourite player was growing up? I'm going to show my age a little bit here now, but it was Paolo Di Canio.
Really?
Ooh,
Okay.
Player. But you know what?
West Ham.
Because I used to,
You support West Ham?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And I used to watch Showboat on Soccer AM, and he was always on Showboat every single
I don't
Saturday.
know what that is.
What?
Showboat.
You're bugging. You
I
do know.
swear
You
on my life,
do know what Showboat
I don't know what that
Is
is.
that the skill section?
No.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know what that is.
No, look me in my eyes and tell me.
Damn.
You know
I
what
swear on my life, I don't know what that is. I've never seen Showboat.
You don't know what Showboat is?
I know it is.
You remember? But I
He's
didn't.
younger than you.
I didn't care about ball.
Come on, man.
I was
Saturday morning show.
Saturday morning. I was out playing football. Doing what
it's
football was
early
doing.
doors. Like, it was early, bro.
I was out on the block playing ball at 8:30 in the morning. Talking about my mum gave me £1. That's an ice pole, a crisp, and a bloody biscuit. If you want. You know them biscuits, the nice ones. They came in the green packet, 29p. Then the ice dollies. What? Then the energy drink.
Yeah, they're probably like
what?
£1.79 then.
Yeah, Fredo don't even come out no more. He had to remortgage his house and cut.
Yeah, 100%.
No, 35p, they're gone.
100%, yeah, facts. And you know what? Actually, I went to a event today, and they done an icebreaker. And the icebreaker question, maybe we should just wrap it up on the final one, was, what's the best compliment that someone's ever given you?
Ooh.
Innit? That was my reaction. Ooh, damn. And that's what the icebreaker was. What's the best compliment that someone's ever given you?
I think we should go in this order.
That's a good one, isn't it?
I think the best compliment someone's ever given me was, I like the way that you're growing up.
Oh, that's quite deep. I like the way that you're growing up.
Nah, that one, I don't really hear that one because some of the people that used to look
Well,
after
'cause
me
you're
when
not
I was
growing
younger, but you can't be saying that to me because you literally watched me grow up. Now you're feeling me.
Oh,
Do you get it? Do you get it?
Damn,
It's a bit like,
man.
So when I was young, you was thinking when you're older.
Oh, like that's how they're saying it to you.
Yeah, you growing up
like,
nice.
You growing up nice,
that,
them ones.
Yeah, you growing up nice, like, and you have potential,
Yeah,
but
people
now,
yeah, people are scummy.
you know what I mean?
It's the truth, man.
Yeah. Look at the truth. It's loud, man. You wanna hear it? What's the best compliment you've been given? That's a sick one, by the way, though. Genuinely.
What's the best compliment I've been given?
Yeah.
I had to think about that one today. In the end, I think it was like it was either someone at work told me that like they would want to grow up to be like me.
Oh, that's sick.
That's
very nice.
And then actually now I'm at a because of obviously the stage of life that I'm at is that like a few people have told me that they think I'd be a really good mum. I think that's a good compliment.
Yeah, a few people said to me they think I'd be a really good dad as well.
Yeah, that's a good compliment, man.
That's very nice. That's actually really sweet.
Right?
No one says that about you, no? Oh, damn.
It's calm, isn't it?
Damn.
Yeah, so it is.
Like, look, if I say this, if I say to you right now, V, you're a great dad.
That's actually my favourite one.
Yeah, you would feel good, innit? You're a great dad.
If someone asked me that question, that would be mine.
Yeah, that you're a great dad.
Yeah,
That's sick.
Yeah, see?
That's sick.
Once you have kids, they become your world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you feel like you're doing a good job as a parent, that's the best compliment.
Definitely agree with that.
So, Bas, what are you saying?
What the best compliment I've been given?
Yeah.
Nah, my thing's gonna sound shallow now.
Yours is gonna be,
I'm not
you've got a good
joking.
haircut.
Nah. That's not even a good compliment. Still, that's not a compliment. No, genuinely, this is actually. I actually thought about it instantly. And I remembered. Yeah, someone who I didn't know said they like the fact that I make everyone feel included.
Nice.
That's a nice
really nice.
compliment.
And genuinely, when they said it to me, I was like, because remember when I said earlier, I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like, be you, I don't care.
Yeah,
Do your thing,
yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I prefer someone who's confident in themselves and just being them.
Yeah.
Because then I know if I actually can vibe with you.
Yeah,
Don't try to do the fake thing because I don't even know if I know you. Even if we're cool, I still won't know if I know you like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just let live and let live. That's me.
Live and let live.
That's a nice one. I like that.
On that note, Jamal, thank you. Because I know these conversations are difficult sometimes, but like,
It's not anymore.
we
though.
appreciate it. I like that,
Yeah,
man. It's not
not
difficult
anymore.
anymore.
Live
Do you
and
know what I
let
mean?
live,
It's
man.
like, yeah. So, and potentially, I reckon that
Stop spitting.
a
though.
conversation like
Oh my
this.
God.
Spitting up the place. Mike's gonna be waterproof.
Anyway, you better cut that out. A conversation like this, I think there's, even if it touches one young boy, do you know what I mean? To think, okay, I think I feel comfortable to come out to my team now, or to come out to my manager now, then like, you've done your job, even if it's just one person.
Yeah.
So I think, it's important. Anyway, episode 7, it was great. We're out. It's your fresh.
Episode 77 if you want it to be. And I can't wait, I'm 7 anymore. So, 77 it is.